Hey, this is Dizzy Reed from Guns N' Roses, and you're watching GNR Central. Yeah!
Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome to GNR Central. And today I wanted to do a video about the things you may have missed in the Don't Cry music video. So this is the first video in the trilogy, although some fans think it actually is supposed to come after November Rain. But let's talk about the first thing you may have missed. The baby at the beginning of the video is different than the baby at the end of the video. You can tell the difference by the eye color. The first one has blue eyes, while the second one at the end of the video has green eyes, and it has to do with rebirth. And I'll do a separate video on the meaning of the video, but here's Axel explaining why the babies are different and what the message, there's a lot going on, P.S. thanks Joseph, means.
Hi Axel, happy holidays.
Thank you.
I had noticed that at the beginning of the Don't Cry video, little baby started out, he had blue eyes. And then at the end, he had green. And then there was the message, there's a lot going on. P.S. thanks Joseph. Who's Joseph and what's the purpose with the eyes?
Well, the eyes, it was different babies, and it was meant to be that it was two different people, you know, and it was like birth and rebirth, and it was meant to show that, you know, and we just used green eyes because I have green eyes. And there's a lot going on. It means that there's a lot more going on in the world than most people think or care to realize. And Joseph was the guy who, you know, Don't Cry was his favorite song, and he's a DJ out here in Hollywood that keeps a lot of bands alive and keeps people listening to them, and, you know, a bit alternative and a bit hard rock, and he works in all the hard rock clubs. And he had got our song, Don't Cry, to the record company in the beginning, and I didn't feel that anybody that he had helped had really thanked him enough. And I knew if I put it on there, it'd be permanent, and if I didn't put his last name, his name's Joseph Brooks, people would like, oh, who's Joseph?
Yeah. Good for you for doing that, and giving somebody else some recognition. Vonnie, thanks for the call.
So the guy Axel refers to as Joseph Brooks. He was a pretty popular radio DJ in LA back in the 80s, and he was pretty influential in discovering a lot of bands that would go on to have huge careers, and including Guns N' Roses. In fact, he was the one who told Tom Zutaut to go check out Guns N' Roses at a local club. The next thing you may or may not know about the Don't Cry video is that at the beginning of the video you see Axel walking through the snow. The red jacket he's wearing in the snow is the same red jacket he's seen wearing during the live performance sequence of November Rain. In fact, some fans think that the November Rain video, in terms of the trilogy, comes before Don't Cry. The scene at the beginning of the video with Stephanie Seymour and Axel battling over the gun until Stephanie Seymour takes the gun away is actually based on something that actually happened in one of Axel's past relationships. So Axel gave an interview in 1992 to Metallics where he talked about the video for Don't Cry in that particular scene. He said, with our video for Don't Cry and the fight that Stephanie and I had over the gun, you don't necessarily know what's going on, but in real life that happened with Aaron and myself, referring to his first wife, Erin Everly. I was going to shoot myself. We fought over the gun and I finally let her win. I was kind of mentally crippled after that. Before shooting our documentary, I said, okay, this seems really hard because it really happened. And the night we wrote that scene, my friend Josh said, okay, how are you going to play that? He wanted to rehearse and I was like, look, leave me alone. But he kept pushing until finally I stood up. I had a cigarette lighter that looked like a real gun, and I said, look, I'm going to do this. And I just went over and slammed around in the hallway a bit and threw the gun and said, is that good enough for you? And he said, yes, because I knew that what I was going to do. And from that point on, I knew I was going to be able to play the parts that we were writing. But it was a very painful process doing that. It's even weird now to play that part with somebody that I'm in a relationship with. All of the live action scenes where the band's performing the songs on a rooftop was filmed in downtown LA on top of the Transamerica Center. In fact, Guns N' Roses had to close down traffic around the surrounding area, which caused a lot of problems with the city, and also featured in the music video. And probably one of the best known facts about the song is that Shannon Hoon, who also sings on the song on the record, is also featured in the music video. So Shannon was the lead singer of the band Blind Melon, and he was from Indiana just like Axel. Now Axel knew his sister from back in the day, and Shannon would make several concert appearances with Guns N' Roses to perform the song live in 1991 and 1992. And during part of 92 and a lot of 93, Blind Melon actually opened a lot of shows for Guns N' Roses on the Use Your Illusion tour. Moving on to the next scene, there's a brief glimpse of Axl Rose when he's singing on top of the building during the live performance scene, where he's wearing a St. Louis Cardinals hat, which is probably a reference to the St. Louis riot that happened a few months prior to the filming of the video back in July of 1991. Now, one of the best known parts of the video is the white "Where's Izzy" sign. Some people claim that Dizzy Reed is the one who's wearing the sign, but I've never been able to confirm that. But September of 91, when they filmed this video, Izzy was still technically a member of the band. He hadn't left until November of 91 when the band officially announced his departure. So Izzy Stradlin had no intention of being involved with the music video. In fact, he was very opposed to these big budget, elaborate productions that Guns N' Roses would continue doing for the rest of the Use Your Illusion tour. Now, this next fact is probably going to blow your mind if you're a Seinfeld fan, but the girl sitting next to Axel at the piano is an actress named Dylan Taze. Now, you've probably seen her before, but just haven't noticed it before. So she plays Jerry Seinfeld's girlfriend on an episode of Seinfeld back in 1996. She plays a character named Nikki, who's pretty prominent in that episode. She's the kind of girl who's able to get whatever she wants, so Jerry uses that to his advantage. So he notices that she can talk herself out of speeding tickets, and she can even get him the type of Cuban cigar that he wants. The best known actress in the video, other than Stephanie Seymour, was the girl who's throwing the glass bottle at Duff. So she's a Canadian actress and model, Claire Stansfield, and she's been in a bunch of different shows and movies. She's probably best known for being in Xena Warrior Princess. Next, the girl who's in Slash's car screaming at him. Contrary to popular belief, it's not his first wife, Renee Saran. Instead, it was a 17-year-old model at the time named Bridgie Grounds. Now, she doesn't have an extensive acting career, but she's done quite a bit of modeling throughout her lifetime. So have you ever wondered what type of car Slash drove off of the cliff? Well, that's a 1966 Shelby GT 350H. What's funny about Slash and Duff's sequences or scenes in the actual music video is that they're loosely based on their own real life. So here's Matt Sorum talking about both Duff and Slash's scenes and how they basically represent both guys in the band.
I remember the scene, and I believe it was Don't Cry, where Duff was going down the stairs and his girlfriend, he had this stand-in girlfriend who was yelling at him and throwing shit at him, and that kind of went on with Duff a lot. I used to call Duff the guy with the revolving door, it was, hey, meet my new girlfriend, it's like every other day. And then Slash, in the car in Don't Cry, where he drives the chick off the cliff. It's the kind of guy Slash is, it's not like, he wouldn't be like the guy that would ever hit a girl or yell at a girl or do anything like that. I remember she was screaming at him in the video and pawing at him, and he just being quiet, smoking a cigarette. But in the end, he'd probably just fucking drive her off a cliff, and like, he isn't gonna say, hey, fuck you, bitch. He's just gonna go, see ya. And I think it was a metaphor for, she's hopefully not dead, but she's definitely gone, you know what I mean?
And the scenes where the car and Slash and the 17-year-old model were shot was in a place called Azusa Canyon. So this is a fan who sent me a picture that she took with Slash on the set of Don't Cry. So she said that she heard that Guns N' Roses were filming a video, so she raced up there and is able to walk on set and take a photo with Slash. So immediately following Slash's first guitar solo in the song, he throws his guitar into the canyon. But whatever happened to that guitar? So here's an interview that Slash did with Fuse TV almost a decade ago, where he talks about where you can go see the guitar today.
Slash, there's so much cool stuff here in the Rainbow, and are there any items that mean something to you here?
There's a couple different things, but the coolest one is this guitar up here, which I demolished shooting, I think it was the Don't Cry video, and wow. I threw it off a cliff. And
now, how did they get it back?
I brought it back to them in pieces in that case that was underneath case.
It.
And somehow they managed to piece it together. It looks pretty good compared to what it looked like when I first gave it back to him. The neck broke. You
wow,
can see that.
I can see it. Right
and then the whole bottom of the body came off and whatnot.
And I like it says oops on it.
Yeah. Well, it was all in good fun.
Immediately following Slash's guitar solo at the top of the canyon, you may miss it if you blink, but there's a quick screen grab of an old Hollywood Rose poster that shows Axl and Izzy on the poster. Axl himself also pays homage to 3 different bands that he's big fans of at this point in time. The first one is Jane's Addiction, which you can see him wearing the shirt at the top of the building where they're performing the song. The second one is Red Hot Chili Peppers when he's in his therapist's office. And then the third one you'll see is also in the same shot with the therapist. There's a Nirvana hat that he's basically seen next to his leg. So that therapist that you see Axel in the room with is his real life therapist at the time, Susie London. She frequently joined the band on the Use Your Illusion tour, and here's another picture of her with Axel in Israel from 1993. And then finally, the graveyard scenes that we see for both Don't Cry and November Rain looks like they've been shot at the exact same cemetery. And that does it for today's video. Be sure to be on the lookout for my videos I've also done for November Rain and Estranged for things you may or may not have missed in those music videos. So thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button and be sure to subscribe if you love GNR as much as I do. Also, go check us out at gnrcentral.com for the latest and greatest Guns N' Roses news. Take care.